In a sprawling, picturesque landscape surrounded by dense forests and rugged cliffs, Sonic and his friends decided to organize an epic paintball competition. The setting was perfect, with crystal-clear rivers meandering through the land and hidden shelters and tunnels scattered all around. It was the ideal place for their next big adventure, promising excitement, strategy, and plenty of friendly rivalry. The group eagerly divided into 2 teams. Team 1 featured Sonic, Tails, and Amy, while Team 2 consisted of Knuckles, Shadow, and Dr. Eggman. The rules were simple. The first team to mark all the members of the opposing team would be the winner. Each participant was armed with their own unique paintball gun, and the match began with a flurry of paintballs zipping through the air. Sonic, always quick on his feet, dashed across the battlefield, his vibrant blue blur making him a challenging target. He weaved between the trees, using his speed to outmaneuver the opponents and occasionally glancing back to make sure his team was holding their ground. He knew that their victory depended on his ability to disrupt the enemy's plans while staying one step ahead of the game. Tails, with his natural ability to fly, hovered above the action, keeping a bird's-eye view of the entire battlefield. He could see where the opposing team was hiding and quickly relayed this information to Sonic and Amy. His tactical mind was invaluable as he devised strategies on the fly, guiding his teammates toward advantageous positions and spotting the best opportunities for an ambush. Amy, always resourceful, used the environment to her advantage. She crept through the underbrush, her pink figure barely visible amidst the green. Her aim was precise, and her paintball shots were fired with both skill and strategy. Whenever she spotted an opponent, she quickly calculated the best angle to take the shot, often catching them by surprise. And on the other side, Knuckles was a force to be reckoned with. His strength allowed him to crash through obstacles, creating chaos and distractions wherever he went. He often charged headfirst into the fray, drawing the enemy's attention and giving his teammates time to set up their attacks. Despite his aggressive approach, Knuckles had a keen sense of when to retreat and regroup, ensuring that he never got too overconfident. Shadow, the dark and mysterious rival of Sonic, moved with stealth and precision. His movements were calculated, and his strategy was one of patience and surprise. He expertly avoided detection, creeping up on his opponents with silent grace before delivering a well-placed shot. Shadow's competitive nature drove him to push his limits, always seeking the upper hand in the battled Dr. Eggman, though not as physically agile as the others, was cunning and resourceful. He had rigged several gadgets to create distractions, set traps, and confuse his opponents. His strategic mind was constantly at work, devising new ways to outsmart the opposing team. Despite being on the opposite side of the moral spectrum from Sonic and his friends, Eggman enjoyed the playful competition and put his full effort into the game. The game was intense, with paint splattering across the battlefield as the 2 teams clashed in a series of skirmishes. Laughter, shouts, and the rapid fire of paintball guns echoed through the trees. The vibrant colors of the paintballs added a playful element to the fierce competition, painting the landscape with bursts of red, blue, and green. At one point, Sonic found himself cornered, surrounded by Knuckles and Shadow. The situation looked dire, but Sonic wasn't about to give up. With a quick signal to Tails, who was hovering above, the 2 launched a coordinated attack. Tails dropped down suddenly, distracting the opponents with a barrage of paintballs, while Sonic used his speed to circle around and tag them both before they had a chance to react. Meanwhile, Amy had been tracking Dr. Eggman, who was hiding behind a large boulder, setting up another one of his traps. She quietly approached from the side, making sure to stay out of his line of sight. Just as Eggman was about to spring his trap, Amy popped up and fired a shot, marking him out of the game. Eggman, surprised but impressed by her stealth, conceded with a smile. The battle raged on, with each team trying to outsmart and outplay the other. As the game progressed, the players began to get more creative with their strategies. Sonic and Tails set up a diversion, drawing Knuckles and Shadow into a narrow ravine, where they were quickly overwhelmed by a flanking maneuver from Amy. Despite their best efforts, Knuckles and Shadow were tagged out, leaving Dr. Eggman as the last man standing. The final showdown came down to a face-off between Sonic and Shadow. Both were determined to win, and the tension was palpable as they circled each other, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. The sun was beginning to set, casting long shadows across the battlefield, and the air was thick with anticipation. In a burst of speed, Sonic made his move, darting to the side and firing a well-aimed shot at Shadow. But Shadow was quick to react, dodging the shot and returning fire. The two exchanged paintballs in a rapid-fire duel, their movements almost too fast to follow. Finally, with a well-timed leap, Sonic managed to land the winning shot, marking Shadow and securing victory for his team. As the game ended, the friends gathered together, laughing and celebrating their hard-fought match. They congratulated each other on their efforts, acknowledging the skill and strategy that had gone into the game. Despite the competition, there was no animosity between them, just a shared sense of accomplishment and camaraderie. The sun dipped below the horizon, and the field was bathed in the soft glow of twilight. The group packed up their gear, still buzzing with excitement from the day's events. As they walked back to their camp, they reminisced about the highlights of the game, each player sharing their favorite moments and recounting the most daring maneuvers. Sonic, Tails, Amy, Knuckles, Shadow, and Dr. Eggman all agreed that this had been one of the most exciting adventures they had ever had. They promised to return for more paintball battles in the future, already planning new strategies and team compositions. As they settled down for the evening, they knew that no matter how intense the competition, their friendship would always bring them back together for more fun and games. The paintball showdown had been a perfect blend of teamwork, strategy, and playful rivalry, leaving everyone looking forward to the next adventure.